Welcome back to For What It's Worth, episode 32. It's the same two again. It's Calvin. It's Tyrone. We're ready because week one has officially wrapped up. And Ty, I got to admit, we got some good games this past weekend.
No, it was a pretty good slate. I was satisfied, thoroughly satisfied. I was sitting there outside just doing my homework, looking up in happiness.
Yeah. I know. Smile on my face all weekend. I'm a big cheeser. Grin ear to ear right there all weekend is how I felt. I will say too, it's funny because shout out to my buddy Chap, Chap Ty, went to bed early during that Bills and Ravens game, had money on it, legally.
Chap, that's Iowa. You can't do that, Chap. That's crazy word, man.
Well, so he had money on it and had Bills, believe Bills money line and maybe something else. I can't remember the other bet, but of course fell asleep, because it looked like the Bills were done. And woke up to some money in his bank account. So I bet he was also smiling from ear to ear. But yeah, what a crazy game. That was probably game of the weekend. I can't imagine. I mean,
that might be game of the year already. I'm gonna be honest. It might be game of the year already.
Which is insane. That's what I'm saying. If we're gonna get games like that all year, every week, it's gonna be a fun one. We're gonna talk about that. We're actually gonna get to that game here in a second. But I'm gonna let Ty kind of take it away here about his Denver Broncos. But before I do, I kind of wrote down a top 5 winners, top 5 losers from week one. And before I let you take it away, Ty, Denver and Bo Nix, they do fall in my top 5 losers of the week. Not the defense. The defense is fine. It is strictly more Bo Nix and that offense. Nix threw 9 passes that traveled at least 10 yards downfield. He had nearly as many interceptions, 2 of them, as he did completions, 3. So out of 9 passes, 10 yards plus, he had 3 completions and 2 interceptions. Not very good there. He just looked unsettled to me for a vast majority of the game, if not the entire game. He was trying to make almost impossible throws or just trying to force things too much. He seemed to be pressing more than he needed to be is what I'm getting at here. And I think that just led to inconsistent play, boneheaded throws, something that we didn't really see last year. And I don't know if that's Sean Payton maybe trying to trust him more. But if that's the case, then you can't. You can't trust him more because this is what happens. So he seemed just like a one-read quarterback that game to me. He was mostly looking for Sutton. And I didn't see him really go through progression. So it kind of disappointed me, and he made my top 5 losers of the week. Ty, I'm going to let you take it away because I know you probably have a lot more to say and a lot more in-depth to say about your Denver Broncos. Go ahead.
One, I would say I was disappointed as well. At the time, I was as furious at Bo Nix as I could have been. But taking a look back on it, I'm shifting way less blame on Bo Nix, on Sean Payton. And after I do that, I'm almost not even going to blame anybody because this is to be expected. Before the season, literally, Sean Payton saying, Bo Nix, he's going to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I think, top 5 quarterback. He's going to be elite superstar quarterback. So in Sean Payton's mind, Sean Payton is a guy who, since he's been the Broncos coach, I would say he's categorized as an offensive guru, a scheme master. He can get guys open. And last year, he kind of had Bo Nix on the training wheels. To me, it seemed like he was saying, Bo Nix, on this play, you throw the ball there. We're going to throw some screen passes. We're going to throw it up to Courtland Sutton, and we're going to do this. And I think the game plan rolling into this week was, all right, here is the full game plan. I'm going to throw every single thing at you. And Bo Nix, I want you just to go out there and you go crazy. You go crazy, Bo Nix, which I think that is a pretty stupid game plan. But considering the fact that our defense is elite and we're playing Cam Ward in his first start at home, not too crazy of a game. Treat it as let's see what he can actually do if I were to call this game like I had Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. And let's see if he can go out there and just go make crazy plays. Yep. What a shocker. He cannot. He cannot go out there and just make crazy plays.
Nope. He's not
which
there yet.
I am not mad at him for not being able to make crazy plays because I've seen with my own eyes. Me and you have both seen him make the traditional A, B, C, D play. And I think Sean Payton, as I said before, he talks about this team as literally said he thinks this team can win a Super Bowl. And we probably won't be able to win a Super Bowl going A, B, C. So at some point, if he wants Bo Nix to actually do all the things that he theoretically thinks he can do, which theoretically, that doesn't really mean anything to me, but he theoretically thinks he can run out there and go do crazy stuff. He has to at least let him try to do it. And I'm glad he's letting him try to do it now against the Titans, opposed in week 15 against like a team where we have to win the game, where we have to win. So those are my quick thoughts on that. And the last thing I'll throw in there is I do think that Bo Nix, I think that I don't think he was pressing. I think at some point Sean Payton was really telling him, I want you to try to make a play. And because that's the only reason I could think of on that I think it was 4th and 8th in the fourth quarter. He's like, I'll just throw it up. That's what I would do on Madden if I was stat padding. Hey, I'm trying to get another tud. See if you can get a tud. Throw it up, man. I'm giving you a free tud. Just throw it up there. We have a good defense. I know we're getting stopped.
Yep. I agree. I think to your point there that it's good to let him do this now against the Titans. I was even texting you during the game saying you guys are lucky to be playing the Titans week 1, because I think if it was almost any other team, maybe besides the Saints or someone like that, it could have been a loss. Just offensively, they weren't quite there yet. You couldn't really care much about them defensively. You guys were fine in that sense. So in that regard, I get it. It's not like college football where you're facing an FCS team or something. This is all professionals, all NFL. You got to take every team seriously. But if there was a game to see if he can do it, to see if Bo Nix can throw the ball down the field, which he really couldn't in this one, but if there was a game to see if he can do it now. Build that confidence now, because you're not going to have a chances, like you said, down the road, or you don't want to start having to take the training wheels off week 15. But if he needs them up to, week 6, week 7 still, then that's what he needs. So I don't really get, if he needs it, he needs it. There might have been too much trust between coach and quarterback. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know if that's a real thing. I don't know if that's too much trust. I don't know if that's a real thing.
Okay.
I do not know. If he's like, I trust him so much, all right, bet. We all trust him then. I do think, I know I'm not an offensive guru, but it seems like to me, Sean Payton is having Bo Nix to throw the ball. He's having him roll out every play. He doesn't have to roll out every single play. It's also the trouble he was getting in. He's rolling out. He has to throw across his body. And basically, you're having him roll out every single play. He's doing fake play actions. They're doing play action every play. We can't even run the ball. And it gets to a point the defense is probably like, all right, we know they're not running the ball.
Yep.
He's rolled out and did play action boot right 5 times in this half and hasn't handed it off one time. They're sitting on that. They're sitting on that. So, he's definitely not running it. Heck no.
Yep. I was going to say, you got to have both sides complement each other there, especially when it comes to a team. And that's another thing too, is I think that they were relying on him so much, or seeing what he could do, because you guys do have that defense that is going to, step up and hold, you would think, and they did, Cam Ward and the Titans. So pretty good there. Anything else you want to talk about this one before we moved on to that Lamar, Allen, Baltimore, Bills game of the week, could possibly be game of the year? Anything else you want to say about Broncos though before we jump?
Quick look ahead. We play the Colts next week. All that Daniel Jones breaking statistics. Odds he has a crazy game next week, real low. So I'm going to chalk that up as a dub. That's 2-0. And then week 3, we play the Chargers, assuming the Chargers beat the Raiders. Broncos 2-0, Chargers 2-0, week 3. That could be for the AFC West. I don't know.
I wouldn't go quite that far yet, but we'll see. But yes, chance for you guys to meet up, both undefeated. All right, let's go ahead and jump over to, as I mentioned, Baltimore and the Buffalo Bills. Bills winning 41-40. Of course, that comeback victory down 15 with, I think, like 3.5 minutes left, 4 minutes left. They had a 1.8% chance of coming back and winning, and they did. So Josh Allen is in my top 5 winners of the week, which means, and I hate to do this because he played so good, but Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are in my top 5 losers. Maybe not more specifically Lamar, but more the Ravens. I'm going to get to that in a second, but I don't want to be Debbie Downer of the episode, because I started with my top 5 losers. So I'm going to start with a winner here in Josh Allen, because Ty, the thing with Josh Allen that we have not seen him do anymore, and this is why he is now at that like elite status, barely off the grasp of where Mahomes is, because Mahomes is still a top. I don't care. Literally, before the Super Bowl, we were talking if he wins, he becomes the one, possibly the greatest quarterback ever. I get it. He regressed in stats last year. He's regressed the past 2 years in stats. I get it. He did not look good in the Super Bowl, and I get it. He did not look good in. Well, he looked all right in Brazil. Not to the place we want him, but he looked all right. At least showed flashes. But what I'm getting at here is what changed in the 2 games in the Super Bowl. I get it. He didn't play well, but if he would have won that Super Bowl, we were going to crown him probably the best quarterback ever. So he is still atop the mountain. Do you agree with me there or not? Or do you think that Allen and even Lamar are literally right there with him?
I think that Allen and Lamar are right there with him, and their heads might be looking down on him a little bit. Like,
really?
Yeah, I really do. Like, I really think, like, in my mind, I'm looking at it like the last 20 football games I've watched.
Mm-hmm.
The top 2 most exciting, I wonder if they're going to win, who's going to win. This game is crazy. There's so much on this game.
Yep.
Bills and Ravens.
I agree there.
This last game, which is amazing, and when they played in the playoffs, those are the last 2 games. I was like, I feel something. I feel something in these games. There's a true winner. There's a true loser. There's no in-betweens. None of that.
Yep.
And I just feel, I don't like, maybe it is, I'm numb to paths of greatness. Maybe that's just what it is. Maybe I've just gotten so used to it that it's not cool to me anymore.
I think there is some truth to that. I think in the overall career of it, yes. I'm not trying to, there is blame to put on Patrick in areas. I mean, he did miss some deep throws in that first game in Brazil, but the fact that he can still get to the Super Bowl, still win AFC championships, that says a lot. I will admit that the gap is closer now, but I still got Mahomes there. But kind of went off on a tangent there. It's all right. Let me get back to Allen. What I was getting at before I went off on that tangent is the thing that we've seen and the thing that has gotten him basically near Patrick Mahomes now is he does not turn the ball over anymore. He didn't last year. He didn't this first game. 71.7% completion, 394 yards, most of any quarterback in week 1, 2 touchdowns, and then he had 9 carries for 33 yards and 2 touchdowns, showing his dual threat ability. It was the 7th game of Allen's career in which he had at least 2 passing and 2 rushing touchdowns. That's the most high in NFL history. And not only that, 251 passing yards just came in the 4th quarter alone. I think I saw that Drew Brees actually led in that category in 4th quarter.
A legendary stat pattern right there. I think I've seen that too. He had like almost 300 yards in the 4th quarter. And he lost the game. He was out there, Staff is out there, just stat padded.
But crazy. But so completed 33 passes, 9 different receivers. And the last thing I'll leave you with here is he became the 4th reigning MVP in NFL history to account for at least 4 touchdowns in week 1. And all those quarterbacks that did before for him, Tom Brady, Brett Favre, Thurman Thomas, they all went on to reach the Super Bowl. So,
okay. Oh, wow.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. So,
I mean, they do have a
great just was impressive to me.
He did. There was a time in my life where probably the beginning of last year where I was still had an eye like this at Josh Allen. Now, I can firmly say that like he's one of those ones. Like him, I am not even trying to say anything about Patrick Mahomes. But the type seasons that I've seen Lamar and Josh have, like I'm really seeing them ball out in a way I haven't seen players play like this. I'm going to be serious. I have not seen players play like this. I have not seen it. And I think Josh Allen was a huge winner of that. But I also think that the Bills defense, I get you're playing the Ravens, but please, I hope they do not rely on Josh Allen like that. I hope that's not their saving grace. Put up 40, hope Josh Allen plays good because, I mean, unless you expect him to have one of the greatest seasons of all time, which he's capable of doing, that's just like, let's give him some support, Bills defense. Like that needs to be what you need to do.
Yep. Will Keon Coleman play like that all season? I do like James Cook. I think he's a vital piece of that offense too. So that is a big thing, and we'll see there. But Josh Allen just proves, again and again that he can get it done until he comes against Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. I'm going to let you start off with Baltimore and Lamar here because there was something that you brought to my attention, which I think subconsciously I knew, but you brought it forth, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. And I'm not trying to like have you start off with this topic if you didn't want to, but the fact that Lamar usually doesn't cost his team the games down the road, or hasn't really in a lot of these games. You can make some arguments in the postseason, but for the most part, it seems like something that his team does leads to a loss. Lamar played great, and we're not talking about it because of the fumble that Derrick Henry had. We're not talking about it because of John Harbaugh's record when it comes to, fourth quarter leads. So I feel like he's always getting buried because his teammates or coach is messing up. And I just wanted you to, take it away because you brought that to my attention, and it's very true. I mean, you can even look at the Chiefs last year, and Isaiah Likely was stepping out. That could have been a win.
Literally. Like, out of all, like, I would say I'm definitely not a full-fledged Ravens fan, but I'm definitely attached onto their team firmly. I'm real close. If the Broncos didn't exist, I'd almost be a full-time Ravens fan. But no, I've seen Lamar's teammates sell him, and his coaches sell him time and time again. The thing is, the Lamar haters, this is what they do. His teammates sell. Then, as soon as his teammates start playing better, they're like, Lamar has help. Look, he's getting help. Then the one time he makes mistakes, they're like, see, it's all on him. He's really the only thing he can do is just win the Super Bowl. That's the only thing he can do to escape any criticism. But so many times, like, the Ravens blow leads, it's never because, like, dang, I don't think Lamar Jackson got locked down. Maybe he made a mistake, but locked down, probably not. Most likely, he did not get locked down. He could have made a mistake or two. The game is going to come down to a critical time where Harbaugh is just going to turn conservative. He's just going to say, hey, let's just run the clock out, punt the ball back, and trust our defense, who we don't even really trust like that.
Yep.
You're punting the ball back to Josh Allen, and they have 30 points at this point. They're in the high 30s, man. You're not stopping them. Obviously, you are not stopping them. You think you're really about to stop Josh Allen? Do you really think that? No, don't think that. If there's ever a time where you're looking across the field and you see Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, or Lamar Jackson, and you're like, dang, I should trust my defense, you are in the wrong. That's bad. It's like when you're playing NCAA and you're playing like the Georgia or Ohio State and you're on the road. If you let the computer get the ball back, they're going to score, man. They're literally going to score. You have a better chance of just going for it. You literally have a better chance of going for it. And
oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you carry on. I'm getting mad thinking about it.
No, go. Keep going.
Like, and just to have such a talent, Harbaugh's had a mismanagement of his talent. He uses Lamar Jackson for 3/4 of the game. 3/4, that's it. That's all I use him for. And it just so happens the times that he does let Lamar off the leash, like go back to when they were playing the Bills and the Ravens again in the playoffs. That was just Lamar simply just taking over the game because they had to, because they were down. If they are ahead in a game, he's going to basically make Lamar Jackson turn into Jared Goff. That's what he's going to make him do. Hey, man, turn into Brock Purdy, turn into Geno Smith, turn into just a guy who can hand the ball off and be a pocket passer. No. Literally no. Like, I know X Factors are there on games, and, like, that's, like, when you want to use their, like, special abilities. Like, 4th and 3. Maybe I want Lamar Jackson to run the ball, to scramble, to do something. There's just a play. I think it was in the 4th quarter. It was 3rd and 10, maybe in the 3rd quarter. It was 3rd and 10. Lamar drop back, scrambles, evades everything. Next thing you know, he gets a first down just because he's out there running around. He can just do that. If you just like do a jet sweep, why are you giving the ball? Why are you doing that? That's a really weird play call.
Yep.
I'd rather have him just, hey, man, everybody go out there 5 wide, hike it, Lamar just run. For real. What? That would be a bet. Just go, Lamar. Yep. And he won't do that.
Nope. I was initially, because we were texting about it in the moment, I initially said I would have punted, probably will regret it when it's hindsight, and obviously I would have regretted it. And I kind of slipped on that because I think I fell under the trap that maybe even Harbaugh did, which I hope not, because he sees that team every day. But this is not the Ravens defense of the past. It's just not. They're not going to stop this, Josh Allen, and especially not in this game. As we mentioned, all the yards that 293 or whatever yards or not 93, 200 whatever yards he put up in the 4th alone. Like, you weren't going to stop him in that moment. They were in a flow. They were at home. I get some fans left, so it wasn't nearly as packed, but you were still at home, all the momentum on your side. And like you said, why, John? Why are you calling that jet sweep? Why are you having Zay Flowers do that?
As soon as they did that, the Bills were like, bet. Thank you.
Well, and not only that too, because like you said, you have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in your backfield. Let one of those two run it.
You could have gave it to Derrick Henry 4 times in a row. The same play. Hey, ISO, hand it off. Boom. He would have. I would have been cool with that. I would have been fine with that. They could have let Lamar run it 4 times in a row. Literally, that would have been cool. Perfect.
I was trying to find how many yards he had per carry there against Buffalo because it was a lot. So you know what I mean? If you're 3 yards out, just hand him the ball. He's gonna get that 2 to 3 yards.
Give it to him. Like I know Derrick Henry fumbled, but it's Derrick Henry. That don't matter. Nope. He can score a touchdown anytime you give him the ball. No exaggeration. Like I ain't gonna lie, his 2 touchdowns in that Bills game. He had 2, right, or am I mistaken?
No, he had 2, 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm glad you brought it.
His 2 touchdowns, it literally looked like he got the ball and just flew past everybody and scored a touchdown. Like, that's what that is like, just give him the ball. You don't have to, like, I don't know.
I don't hate letting Lamar run with it either in that moment because 70 yards and a touchdown on his feet. You know,
and thinking like this thinking, going back to what we were talking about earlier with Sean Payton, I would much rather have a coach think like Sean Payton and be like, you know what? I'm putting it all on him. Let's go out there. Let's just go, and whatever he does, we'll win the game. That's fine. That is cool.
And you can do that with someone with Lamar.
Yeah, you have Lamar Jackson. You won't be wrong by saying that. No, you won't be wrong by saying that.
And honestly, if something did happen, so be it. That's life. Because like you said, it's not yet. Why are you playing conservative? That is not you're 100% right. He's not a Brock Purdy. He's not a game manager.
He doesn't need to literally. You can trust him.
You can trust him, at least in the regular season too. Literally. You built a 15-point lead doing this. Why are you getting away from it?
Yeah. That's why sometimes I get Lamar isn't, trustworthy in the playoffs. I'm like, that's not necessarily true. Maybe the word we're looking for is maybe clutch, trustworthy. I guarantee you in the playoff game, he's going to play good. Will he make a mistake? Maybe. Will he play good? Yes. Good for the duration of the whole game. Yes.
Yes.
Like, that's just a fact. Unless he just has a terrible game. He's going to play good, and you just, as a coach, you have to put him in situations where he could be great. And he put him in a situation to stand on the sideline like this.
Yep. That's true. I'd rather, have it in his hands to try to win the game than leave it up to your defense where Jair Alexander just looked absolutely lost in coverage.
Broke off. Oh, my goodness.
Just terrible. But just speaking of the running, before we move on, they were the first team in NFL history to score at least 40 points and rush for 235 yards and lose that game. Not even joking. Teams were including playoffs prior to that loss. So the run game was working. They just abandoned it when they probably should have ran it on 4th down to pick up the first down. They become the first team out of 277 to be in that situation and lose. So, and the last thing too, John Harbaugh, it was the 8th time his team lost a game in which they held a 4th quarter lead of at least 8 points. No other coach since 2000 has as many losses.
If he punts in the playoffs like that, he needs to be fired.
I think he learned his lesson, or he should have learned his lesson.
If he does something like that in the playoffs, he needs to be fired. I'm so serious. But overall, I'm not really concerned about the Ravens overall. For real, really,
I wouldn't be either. They dominated
the Ravens, that whole game. Bills, and Chiefs are all at a point to where it's like we only need to make the playoffs. That's it. The only thing we need to do is make the playoffs, and that's it.
Yeah, I'll go through my top 5 teams here at the end. I'll see what you say, and because I don't have them dropping. Obviously, I don't think anyone should. I'm not saying anyone did, but didn't really drop out of too far out of my rankings, or even down that much in my rankings, anyways. With the loss, 2 great teams, potentially, probably not, but potentially an AFC Championship preview. All right, let's kind of just quickly go through the rest of the games. I'm going to go through my top 5 winners and losers, and we're just going to quickly talk about quick subjects that we want to bring up for each. I do want to talk about Chiefs Chargers, as you can see, got all the Chiefs stuff behind me. But first, I'm going to start with the winner, and that was Justin Herbert and the Chargers. They let Herbert go, Ty. They let him go. He threw at all 3 levels, showcased his arm talent. We knew he had it, but really put it on display. Loosened this one. A team that we thought was just going to come out and just run, or try to establish the run first, or just see a lot of run plays. Maybe not Herbert as much. especially with that O-line. And then, the Chiefs, Chris Jones, Karlaftis. No, I mean, they really took care of the Chiefs. The defensive line couldn't do anything against that makeshift O-line. Like I said, Herbert let loose, and I'm glad they let him loose. That's what John Harbaugh needs to do. 15.4 yards per play off play action, because you have to respect the run as well. You know what I mean? You have to. That's what Harbaugh is. So Herbert himself, 9 of 11, 169 yards off of play action. So they were just absolutely killing the Chiefs with that play action with Herbert's arm. 11th career game for him with 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's really going to be interesting to me, though, if Keenan Allen, can keep up that kind of production. Lad McConkey looked good. Quentin Johnson looked good. It's really got to be, can they have a third receiver that's going to be productive, or at least a little productive, in Keenan Allen? But Justin Herbert and the Chargers, they were a top 5 winner in my eyes this weekend, especially, like you said, first game of the year against a divisional rival. You're in a whole different country, just totally different vibes. And you keep Harbaugh's streak of week 1 wins undefeated, 6-0 in his coaching career in the NFL with week 1. So there you go. I got them as a top 5 winner. I'm going to jump to the Chiefs here quickly, but anything you wanted to say about Herbert or the Chargers or anything like that?
1 or 3 things real quick. 1, Herbert has a chance to put himself in the MVP conversation. He put himself in there. If there's an MVP voting right now for week 1, he is in the top 5, maybe 3. 2, I'm not willing to say Quentin Johnson. He has to do it. He has to get to week 5 for me. Okay. He's had too many critical drops in his career.
All right.
He's literally known as a guy that drops passes, so he needs to great game. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Off to a decent start. Okay.
Furthermore, and number 3, Harbaugh run a little bit of my respect back. I was talking crazy about him last spot. Calling him a cheater. Him and J.J. McCarthy, they shut me up for this week. Yep. I ain't lying.
All right. We'll obviously get to the Bears and Vikings too and talk about that. But yeah, not necessarily Mahomes. I already talked about Mahomes, so I'm not going to jump into that anymore. I do have the Chiefs defense as a top 5 loser in week 1. I mean, this has been a unit that the Chiefs have had to rely on, it seems like, the past couple of years, or at least been able to lean on the past couple of years. Again, they were coming in, lost some pieces, Reed and whatnot, but the defense was still supposed to be up there. You had Karlaftis, Chris Jones, it's McDuffie. So yeah, your defense is still supposed to be Drew Tranquill, Bolton. So yeah, this is still supposed to be a really good defense, and that defense did not look good, Ty. That defense did not look good. I already talked about how they couldn't get pressure on Herbert, hardly 0 pressure. In fact, Omenihu, Derek Nottie, and Mike Dana, they posted a pathetic 0% win rate. That is getting off the block or beating your blocker in 2.5 seconds. They had like a 69 total combined snaps. None of them were able to beat out their defender in 2.5 seconds. None of them. 0. There was no pressure being generated from those 3. So that sucked. You look at their secondary, Jaden Hicks, he got gashed. 39 snaps, 29.7 PFF grade, allowed 4 catches, 49 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Watson still looked shaky after his injury. Brian Cook was out of position too many times. Shamari Connor's being thrown into a role that I don't think he's ready for yet. And Chris Jones cut inside on that last play that let Herbert get outside and get the first down. This was a bad performance from this Chiefs defense. It just absolutely terrible. And that's really all I got to say about that in that game. But if there's anything else you wanted to say about the Chiefs defense, Chiefs or Chargers, let me know.
I was actually going to say something about the Chiefs offense outside of Mahomes. I think, I think when you have a team that's winning Super Bowls and you're playing high, you're really good consistently, the number one way to keep your team relevant is hitting on your draft picks. And I think, Veach he's a good GM, obviously. He's, took the Chiefs through this run, but I think missing on some of those key guys is now starting to catch up, mixed with some bad injury luck. Like looking back, that Clyde pick, not good.
No.
Pacheco, I mean, he's a huge question mark at this point. So it's like our running backs are question marks. Receivers, I mean, that's just all of that is just unlucky. So he's hit on receivers. All of that's unlucky. Travis is, he's just an older Travis Kelce now. And I don't know if there's someone that's ready to back him up and immediately assume all that production. So when Patrick Mahomes looks around now, it's like, my young bucks now are I don't know. I just have guys. I still see Juju Smith over there and
Yep.
Hollywood Brown over there. And that's like, dang.
Ring.
And I think we're gonna see just some Patrick Mahomes superhero ball, which
It's gonna have,
even
you're gonna have to see it.
you die a hero or you live long enough to suck. So we'll see what he does. Like that's what's gonna happen. That's what I think is gonna happen. He's either gonna pull off the most heroic thing ever,
Yep.
or I mean, it's just
the Chiefs. It really depends on how serious Worthy's injury is. To the point of like, do you need to make a move? This is just more fun in games. I mean, there is a way for it to happen. It would take a lot, but like, or do you try to get like Tyreek?
I would hate that. I don't. As a Chiefs fan,
like, how desperate are you?
I would get somebody not Tyreek Hill though.
That's fair, and that's fair. You could Rashid Shaheed is another one that you could maybe try to trade for.
I like that.
A little foundation there, more for the future than like a Tyreek who can still get it done, but is going to be 31, 32. And two, Tyreek would at least probably require 20 million or so. It took a pay cut.
I don't know what he would do, and I don't know what he would be like. I think he said just enough bad things. Not he didn't say anything too crazy, but he's been too much on the. When he started saying Tua is more accurate than Mahomes,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if I can bring you back on the squad after that, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Be honest, bro. I don't know if I can put you back on the squad. I'm not putting my pride aside from that one, man. You're tweaking, Tyreek. You're tweaking.
That was a little crazy. I'm not going to talk about this one as much because we're already taking up a lot of time and we got more important stuff to talk about. But I did want to say I had a top 5 winner. It will be interesting because we'll see next week. But it was fun for week 1 for Daniel Jones and the Colts offense. It was fun. Scored on all 7 of their possessions. It was fun. Let him have his moment. 22 and 29, 272 yards and a touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns for Jones. It's fun. Is he going to get killed by that defense next week and with Denver's defense? Most likely. But hey, maybe he's gotten some confidence now. Maybe he'll carry that into week 2. But like I said, that Dolphins secondary in themselves played terrible. Terrible. They all play terrible. That team doesn't even look like they care. It looks like they are purposely trying to tank. Yeah. So, I mean, I could go. I'm not gonna go back into it too much, but it was just good play calling too for Jones. A lot of just quick passes, get the ball out, 2.33 seconds to throw against 16 blitzes. So they set him up for success. But like I said, going against Denver, ooh. Yeah.
I mean, hopefully, like you said, I hope his confidence is high. I hope he's feeling confident.
Oh, so he starts throwing down?
I hope he's trying to fit it in some tight windows. He's open. Just throw it. Just first read, let it fly. Just throw it over there to PS2. Throw it up. 50-50 balls. Just throw them up, man. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
If the Colts can dice us up and beat us, we have way bigger issues. This is bigger than the Colts thing.
I mean, I'm kind of hoping he does, not just to see you, maybe shed a tear or two, but just because I have Jacob Downs on my fantasy. So I need him to get some catches this week.
He might. Yeah. So would you rather? All right. So would you rather have? All right. So play this.
All right.
Game on the line.
Okay.
Game's on the line.
Yeah.
The Broncos are up by 6, so they just need a touchdown. Throws it up to Downs. Downs is running. Downs catches it in the end zone for a touchdown. Yeah. Or B, who do you know? Who is that running by? Riley Moss with the pick. Which one would you rather have?
I love my Hawkeyes and I want them all to succeed, but man, there is money on the line when it comes to fantasy. So I think I gotta go with Downs. But I would, I guess I'd be rooting for Moss as he's running down the sideline. That's hilarious. But I think I gotta go with Downs just because I got money on that one.
You hear that, Riley Moss? That's motivation. That's motivation.
That's motivation.
That's motivation, Riley Moss.
Playing this in the locker room, man. This is their
you hear this
material. That's hilarious. All right, I want to talk quickly too about Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields. I know Justin Fields and the Jets lost, but they were both my winners. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving them a little moral victory here, but that's I think it's deserved here. I'm not the most fan of moral victories, but I think Justin Fields deserves to be in a top 5 winner this week, despite dropping the game. Just sticking with Fields, 16 of 22, 218 yards, touchdown, more dynamic as a runner, 48 yards and 2 additional scores with his feet. I mean, that's where he really excels at anyways as a quarterback. So no surprise there. But it's just good to see that his passing looked pretty decent. But again, his feet, that dual threat ability, 9 design runs. That was more than but one game from his entire career in Pittsburgh. So the Jets know what he can do, and they're letting him do it. I don't know why Pittsburgh was so against letting him run. But again, given intermediate downfield routes, got to work the pocket instead of exclusively seeing it on, play action boots or anything like that. He actually got to work the pocket and looked pretty decent doing that. So good for Justin Fields, good for the Jets. Is he going to continue this all season? If they can continue with the design runs and let him be effective like that, and then, throw in a good couple intermediate throws just to keep the defense on their toes, then yeah. But if they're going to kind of get away from this, or teams are going to start really playing that, might be a struggle again. But I'm liking what I see in week 1 from Justin Fields. What about you?
Oh, yeah. If you look, it's like I digged in my bag and I looked down there and I still had my Justin Fields stock somewhere deep in the bottom of my bag.
Still down there?
Let me move past the Ben Simmons stock I still have a little bit of, and grab my Justin Fields stock. Quick. I knew I still had a little bit. A little bit of it. So I'm glad to see him play well. I was a fan of Justin Fields, and I still think that he's been done wrong by several, not every team, but he's been done wrong at least by the Bears. Mm-hmm. But I was happy for him. Will he play that good again? Well, either that game, the Steelers versus the Jets, was the most like, will any of these teams do any of this again the rest of the season?
I will say that.
I don't know.
I will say
I don't know. I will say this. I don't know if either of the teams will do any of that.
I agree with you, but I will say this just to play Deadpool's advocate here is that Rodgers threw 4 touchdowns last season at the end with the Jets in the final game. So technically, he's on consecutive back-to-back 4-touchdown games. So I don't know, man. He might be able to continue this again. He might be able to do it again. I don't know. He's technically on consecutive back-to-back 4 passes.
He did it against the Jets, though. Yeah. And it's just like, are the Jets good, or did you just do that? I don't know. I mean, he could be. Maybe I need to give A-Rod some credit. Oh, did you hear what Justin Fields said? He had a fire quote from after the game. They asked him,
what was
they were like, how'd you feel about the game? He was like, well, because I think I seen a stat at the bottom of the screen. Right now, the Steelers have the most Pro Bowl selections as like a roster all together because they got all those old veteran guys on their team.
And that's Jabril Peppers too.
He's like, we got all these. They look at them. They added all these Hall of Famers to their team, and it took them that much to beat us. And I'm like, okay, pretty solid quote. Yep. That's a fire quote, Justin Fields. I actually hope they do good. They play the Bills next week.
I'll double check for you, but
I think they play the Bills. I could be wrong.
As I said, there's so many schedules to keep track of, man. But you're right. Yeah, they play Bills. So
if Justin Fields beats the Bills.
That'd be interesting. That'll be fun. What if the Bills have this hangover from the Ravens game?
They could.
You got to go on the road now.
Watch the Jets actually use Justin Fields like Lamar.
Hey, I mean, I'm not, obviously no comparison whatsoever, but he does better with those. Let him run. Man, let him be like that. Obviously, no comparisons. Just real quickly, though, just because of Rodgers, am I expecting him to throw 4 touchdowns like that again? I don't really know, but I will say he looked comfortable with Arthur Smith in the system. Had 8 pass attempts that went more than 15 yards. Not really that much, but that's not what they're relying him to do. What he really excelled at was the no-huddle offense, which they threw in there just a little bit, which when they did, he played well, so they might try to rely on that a little bit more. And what we know him to have to be at 42 years old because he can't move around and stuff has to be quick releases. And that's what they were doing. He threw screens on 30% of dropbacks, averaged 4.5 yards per attempt in the air. So that's the system. So you're going to have to shut down. Yeah. And he seemed comfortable doing that. It works for him. Obviously, as the season go on and you get film, defenses might be able to figure out how to take some of that away. But for now, it's working for him. All right, we are hitting about the 40-minute mark, so I'm going to try to just keep going fast. I'm going just making sure I'm not missing anything here. Another winner for me, this is my last one because we talked about Josh Allen earlier. Green Bay Packers, the team overall. Because I've been talking a lot of offense, so let's talk defense here because that Packers defense looked good. Held Jamar Gibbs, David Montgomery, they combined for just 2.7 average yards every time they touched the ball. The Packers recorded tackles for loss on Gibbs and Montgomery 6 times for a total of 13 lost yards. So they were meeting them right at the line, if not pushing them back. Micah Parsons, while maybe didn't get as many sacks, obviously limited count, only played 29 of the 65 defensive snaps, but he was effective with the pressure. He was beating Penei Sewell, I believe. Yes, I believe. He was beating him inside a lot throughout the game. And that was enough to, speed up Goff, including one that led to an interception in the end zone. So that defense looks good, Ty. The offense looks great too. Jordan Love looks good, but man, that defense, it was good.
Yeah,
it's good.
Jordan Love also in line for sneaky MVP consideration if his team's good.
Yeah.
2, I have Matthew Golden on my fantasy team. He only had 2 receptions. I think he maybe had 2 receptions for 2 targets.
Yep.
So it's pretty concerning. I took him a lot higher than I wanted. I took him fairly high. So 2 receptions, Matthew Golden. I know the Packers have a lot of receivers, but I would like if he was receiver number 1. I would really like that a lot. Those are the only 2 things I really have to say about the Packers. I just hope they win games and they're good. I picked them to win the Super Bowl. Yep. I think the real thing in this game is we're talking about winners. The losers are definitely the Lions. Dan Campbell.
Yeah,
I got my eye on you, bud. I got my eye on you. I got my eye on you, Dan Campbell. I really do.
I'm gonna say losing both your coordinators, especially good coordinators, and then you bring in
what was that play he called again?
And then you bring in an offensive coordinator that I wasn't too impressive in his first game. I believe he was a tight ends coach. He might have been with Denver. I'd have to double check that. I don't want to spew not factual information here, so I'll leave it at that. But again, you bring in an OC that's just not anything of what you had in Ben Johnson. So honorable mention for me and winners. I can't believe we haven't talked about this and we're 43 minutes in. And this was the game that happened the most recent. Bears Vikings. Let's go ahead and talk about that fairly quickly. Obviously, this was a big game, so we can dive a little bit more into it. I had them as my honorable mention because I just thought my top 5 was more important to me for winners. But JJ McCarthy, the way he rebounded was important. Kevin O'Connell, again, showing that give him what seems like any quarterback, or at least a white quarterback, and he's going to make it work. He's going to get it done with him. He knows how to make the system work around his quarterbacks. And then the defense. Flores's script in the first half, sending maybe 1, maybe 2, 3 blitzes, and then coming out in the second half and just blitzing way more against Caleb Williams, completely throwing him off. The Vikings overall, that defense is good. JJ McCarthy settled in because of Kevin O'Connell, I believe. They made the right adjustments at half. Ben Johnson just had a lot of bad turnover from being a coordinator to a head coach that's going to have to get smoothed out as the season goes on, and he's just going to have to learn. But yeah, I didn't mind the Vikings. And I'm glad I have them beating the Bears in the division because I have them 3rd. But right now, I don't know. Lions got to figure it out, or they might fall to that 3rd spot in the division.
Oh, for sure. They're definitely on that watch. But that win for the Vikings is pretty solid. But the win overall, that win was worth 5 for JJ McCarthy. For 5 wins. That individual win was just as good as if he played last year and they won like 6 games. That one win right there. So that's a huge win for him. Also, pretty good for the Vikings, but a part of me is also thinking they did play the Bears.
Yep.
And generally, I think that most people think the Bears are going to suck, mostly. I think that, most likely. But they did win nonetheless, and it was a dub, and I doubted J.D. McCarthy, so I will give him his respect.
Yeah. And like I said, can you really name a time, especially in week 1, that a quarterback didn't play well under Kevin O'Connell? He always has them prepared. And like I said, if it's anything like last year, he'll have them prepared all season. So I saw on, I believe it was First Take today, that they were arguing that JJ McCarthy is that the Vikings found their franchise quarterback. I'm not ready to say that yet after one game.
Just one game.
I
will say I was impressed. I did forget how capable of a runner he was.
Yeah.
He could run the ball pretty solidly for a quarterback.
Yep. I'm going to say great play calling. Just overall, just good play calling from
Pretty
Kevin
solid.
O'Connell.
Yeah, great play calling, pretty solid. I would say his J-Day's number one attribute is he is a winner. He's won games, which if you can get that label and coast that, Brock Purdy has set it up to where you can be a winner and make hundreds of $1,000,000. So pass right in front of him.
And I think that's one reason too they were saying that he could be the franchise quarterback is because he just wins no matter the level. You look at high school, college, doesn't matter. He wins. So just to have that kind of intangible to some people is enough, but I'd like to see a little more. But anything is possible under Kevin O'Connell. All right, 2 more things I want to talk about, Ty, just real quickly, real quick. My other 2 losers that I had of my top 5, one of them being the Bengals. We needed to see a fast start, and we did not. Joe Burrow did not get off to a fast start, threw for just 113 yards on 23 attempts. The offense was flat after that first quarter. Poor third down efficiency, 0 explosive plays, lack of misdirection, lack of play action, lack of tempo. Chase Brown handled the ball, or at least handled the bulk of the carries, had 21 carries. He just managed 43 yards. That's 2 yards a carry. What is this team doing? What is this team doing? They survived the game. They survived it, Ty. They survived it. They did not win. They survived. It's bad. They were outgained. And I say this because they were outgained in total yardage. 327 yards to 141.
I don't know if this is a real stat or if it was fake. Or maybe, I don't know. I think I've seen, is this true? They had 7 yards in the second half, or is that fake?
It was a low amount. I don't know if it was 7, but it was a low amount. But
maybe 7 is a low amount. And the Browns kicker, he sold the bag pretty bad.
They sold it. That's what I'm saying. They survived. The Bengals survived.
I don't know. Actually, I'll let the Bengals pass this one because if they would have lost, I would have said it's over. So I will. They survived the week. They got it.
That's what's important.
They got the dub.
You can't say that you were impressed. You cannot say you were impressed. All right. I try to stay away from the stats.
At the end of the day, would you rather have Joe Burrow go for 400 yards and then lose, or him play bad and they win?
All right. If you're fine with that, I don't know, man.
I'll take that. I'm not mad at that.
At least they got the win now because, like you said, they usually figure out latter half of the season. So get your wins now because you losing so many games early last season is what cost you at the end. So, yeah, I guess just take the wins.
I'd say this. It's a lot. The Broncos had a very similar game, and Bo Nix is our quarterback. So if Joe Burrow is my quarterback, I think I feel pretty good that we'll bounce back because I have faith in Bo Nix to bounce back. So if I was a Bengals fan, I'd be pretty excited actually.
That's fair. I mean, I have faith in them towards the end of the season, but we'll see what they can do. But yeah, you're right. They got the win. So maybe I shouldn't be so harsh on them. But man, for a team that you played these guys the preseason, you talked about starting fast. You talked about we're making
MVP.
Yeah, MVP. We have an MVP quarterback. Let's see something then. We paid all these guys and
you watch that game, then you turn on the Bills and Ravens game, like
yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. I don't know. Speaking, because I kind of fell for it, I think. It's early, so maybe I didn't. But Patriots, they're my other loser, my last loser. I mean, come on. You had all this hype, preseason buzz, revamped roster, Mike Vrabel, new head coach. Drake May's going to take that step. And you lose against the Raiders week 1. You didn't adjust at half. You did nothing to adjust at half. You were outscored 13-3 in the second half. New England was just 4 of 14 on third down in the debut of Mike Vrabel. The Patriots rushed 18 times for only 60 yards. Where did all this hype go? Don't even get me started on Drake May. Had at least 4 or 5 passes that were inaccurate, overthrows. Had an overthrow to Hunter Henry early in the third. Just after he threw a pick, it was in his head that allowed Vegas to take that 14-10 lead. Yeah, and this was I don't get it. I fell for it.
The Patriots are like, they're just like mashed potatoes. You're not going to eat a full thing of mashed potatoes by itself. They're just bland and boring and like, I was excited to see Henderson get in there. He didn't even get in as much as I wanted him to get in. I thought he was going to be the guy to like get in there and shake it up, call some dynamic things, but they just don't have any of all the teams that have stuff that's like even the teams that are bad, they're so bad that they're exciting. The Patriots are just like the Patriots are the most 6-win team I've ever seen. Just won 6 games and
I don't know. Is this like just a Mike Vrabel thing? Like all his teams kind of seem like
that's boring. I mean,
I guess
they're
you can maybe win, but
I mean, is their offense exciting? No. Is their defense elite? No. They just have an okay offense and just a pretty solid defense.
Well, and it's like you talk Stephon Diggs, talk all this up, and I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, nothing. Like, I mean, it's just like, what do you expect?
So, well, I mean, what do you expect too? Because like they couldn't get the ground game going. 60 rushing yards on 18 attempts, 35.
Ramondre Stevenson, that's just like a mid running back. This is mid players on the field.
That made Drake May have to drop back a career high 53 times. If he has to drop back 53 times,
you're not winning games.
You're not winning games. You're not going to win games.
And I guarantee you, they're not doing their whatever. Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, I knew. So many names.
I don't. The Patriots are there's out of all the 32 teams that I would prefer to have conversations with, the Patriots are like the bottom. I never understood any of the Drake May hype. I do understand it, but like,
I didn't get all the hype. I think it was just more like, hey, not too bad, some potential. Let's keep an eye on it. Okay, I can do that.
I think looking back at that draft, people were like, all right, if Caleb Williams isn't good, then Drake May's going to be it. He's going to be elite. And now that we can look at Jalen Daniels, it's like, all right, obviously he's better than both of them. So the odds that one of these two are even close to him, probably real low. Probably not pretty high that either of these two are anywhere close to this guy.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Anything else you want to talk about? Because we are getting to that 55-minute mark, and I quickly just wanted to go through my top 5.
All right. Thursday night football. I'm really excited about that. Commanders versus Packers. I think this is a MVP watch game.
Yeah.
The person that wins this game and balls out of Daniels and J-Lo, the winner is sliding up the MVP role. They're sliding up. So my eyes will be on that.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. Thank goodness, too, for let's see. We don't usually get too many good Thursday night games. Those are far.
No, that's a banger. That's a great one. On fire game.
That's a great one. Quickly, I just want your opinion on this. Here's my power rankings, top 5 teams after week 1. I got to go Eagles still at number 1. Defending Super Bowl champions. You get in there, you get a win. Divisional foe. I had all the, extra stuff going on in the background, even though you guys said you weren't worried about it. I like Jalen Hurts still, how he looked. He played fine, played great for what they needed him to do. They're my number 1. I got Bills, number 2. I get it. Ravens basically led a majority of that game, basically all that game. Looked unstoppable until Derrick Henry fumbled, and then they went conservative, and the defense really shit the bed. But I got Bills. The fact that they could come back, Josh Allen, your reigning MVP, I'm going Bills. I was going to put the Ravens either 3rd or 4th, but I just, they lost. And I can't put them above 2 teams that won, no matter the competition that these next 2 teams played against. But 3rd, I have Packers as my power rankings. 4th, I have the Chargers. I mean, you take down Mahomes. You're in a whole different country. You handle that well. Divisional foe once again. Get it done. Herbert looked good. Everyone looked good. And then 5th, I have the Ravens because they did suffer a loss. So I can't put them against teams that went and got it done. Even though they led the entire time, even though their roster on paper is still better than the Bills, I got to put them at 5. So yes, I would love to put the Ravens 3 or 4, but they're 5th for me. So Eagles, Bills, Packers, Chargers, Ravens. That is my power ranking top 5 after week 1.
I like that. I would have put the Ravens 3. Okay. I would have had the Chiefs at 5, so I would have took the Chargers out. But I do respect the Chargers being in there. And I also say another team that I would probably have in the honorable mention of your power rankings are the Commanders. And if the Commanders can beat the Packers, I feel like they would have to slide in the top 5 of the power rankings.
They would in my eyes. So I agree with you there. I like I said, I totally see your thinking, especially with the Ravens. you lose by 1 against an kind of equally. I still think, like I said, on paper they're better, but basically equal opponent. So I can see why you would put them 3, but just the fact that they lost and the other 2 teams I would have had below them 1, it's hard for me to pass that up. Because I get it. Packers still divisional game. I get it. You play a team that lost 2 coordinators, but still get in there, handle business. And then Chargers, like I said, a team that's literally been owning your division, a team that has been atop the mountain for the past 7-8 years. Get to take them down week 1. Still didn't let Mahomes go too crazy, stuff like that. So, yeah, that is my top 5. And that is episode, I can't even remember now, 32, I believe. Yeah, 32. Another hour. We don't try to go an hour, I promise. But, man, dude, we just start bouncing these ideas. And
there's still so much more, man.
Yeah, so I hope people enjoy it. I think they do. So, but, yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I had fun. Next time, we might be a little bit more prepared, and I'll ask you for a top 5 winners and losers, and maybe we can go that route and, kind of see where we're at both in the week, what I saw versus what you saw, and see how those compare. So I hope you guys enjoyed this format. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Tyrone, anything else you want to say before we officially end this episode?
No, man, I'm all good. We said a lot. This is a great episode.
It was a great episode, a fun episode. And like I said, I think we're going to be able to continue some kind of format like this where we're highlighting mostly the more important things of the week of each week, because we don't need to break down every game. As we mentioned, while it was a great slate of football, and yeah, we could have talked like Rams and Houston and stuff like that, but like I didn't want to talk about Jacksonville and Carolina. No offense to those teams, but I didn't really want to talk about it. I didn't really want to talk about Tampa Bay and Atlanta. Sure, there's stuff to talk about it. Baker Mayfield at the end there looked great, but you get my point. So I'm yapping. Try to keep it under an hour, and we're going to now go over an hour because I keep talking. Ty wrapped it up. He said he had nothing to say, so I'm going to wrap it up now.
I take it back.
Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I take it back. Oh, yeah. I'm about to. Hopefully, nobody from our fantasy football league listens to this. Maybe you will. I'm about to start. Hey, I'm gonna really start. I'm trying to really cook up some trades coming up soon. I've sent out 2 and I haven't got 2 responses back. Hopefully they respond. I don't want to harass them, but I seriously thought about actually calling. Like, hey, yo,
where you at?
Yeah.
I need to get better at
That's
trading.
all I was saying.
I put too much faith in my players, or I just hit the wires. I need to be more involved too, as well. I need to be calling up everyone and seeing what they're willing to do. So, all right, good luck this week, Ty and fantasy, because we are in the same fantasy league. So good luck. We don't play each other, but good luck this week. I'm going for that 2-0. Did you win last week?
I did win. I beat Kyle. I was projected to get 1 win. I got a D- grade.
I got a D- grade too.
A D- grade. I was supposed to get 1 win.
Yep, let's go. I saw
Get that out of here. This is ridiculous.
I saw a meme that said, it was on Twitter. It's like, if you got a D- rating, you're gonna like win your league, and if you got an A+ draft rating, you're gonna like end up in last place. So right now, that's holding true. Hey man, we're both undefeated right now, and I'm not knock on wood right now, but I'm projected to win this week too. I could start off 2-0, so let's get it going.
There you go.
All right. We will end it there. Again, I am Calvin Silvers, Tyrone Thornton as well, co-hosting with me. You're listening to For What It's Worth. And until next time, have a good one.